Hey everyone. So I just wanted to share a little bit about dealing with difficult people and working with anger. So, no matter how great of a communicator you are or how much you practice meditation, you're going to come across difficult people. And when you do, you sometimes you could even feel like you're crazy because it can interacting with a really difficult person, and if you're on their bad side, you can end up feeling like something is very wrong. And I just want to talk a little bit about how you can hold your ground. So there was a woman who is a difficult person for me right now. And I won't get into any details, but if you're my friend or family, you're not this person, so don't worry. But basically, what I've noticed in response to it is that where my mind goes. So there's two things. First of all, I tend to be, I think, in my social nervous system a lot. So that social network in my brain, as soon as somebody's like kind of freaks me out a little, they seem a little off, I actually want to like bond with them so that they don't they don't take me by surprise. So I actually want to merge with them, first of all. And then if I can't, because there's something there that's not happening, it's not working, then I'll turn to someone else and hopefully bond with them and feel a support in a way. But you can't always, there's going to be moments where there's not someone there to turn to and to use that approach. So sometimes there's this like real empowerment in being able to turn in and work this, work that anger, So basically what I did this week was I had a dream, and there's a part in the dream where these men were like attacking sharks. Okay. They were like spearing them and like killing them, I think. That's what it looked like. And I didn't like that, And then I woke up from the dream and I was like, oh, my first feeling was, oh, I don't want to know about that. But my second feeling was kind of like, oh, something that I don't like. That's interesting, So I've been doing dream work for so many years that like really bad feelings are kind of like really good too. So I was curious about it. So I was able to look at it in a group with a dream class that my teacher, Leslie, for many years, she's been my teacher for like many, many years, and especially the last couple of years. And she was questioning, okay, what about trying out being either the shark or the men, like the warriors or I guess I thought of them as hunters at first. I was like, okay, I'll be a hunter. It's like, I don't want to, but I know there's going to be something in this for me. So the first thing when I sensed in, I had this picture of like this Maori warrior, and he was like, huh. And so I did that. Huh. And when I did that, I'm like, whoa, I actually feel really strong right now. It was like my whole body felt strong. And unlike the image that I had first had, which was like, oh, they're probably these like, these men who just like are just, destroying the earth and like not caring about the species of like sharks or whatever. I had this total shift. I'm like, whoa, this is actually this full body warrior feeling. And my heart was actually really lit up. So that was 2 nights ago. And the last couple of days, when something comes into my mind around this person, it's very cool because I immediately get this feeling of, huh. And it's kind of like this strength of like, I'm not going there. I'm not going into where they are, knowing that they're not going to be in my life in a couple months. Is it helpful to go into these like slippery, sharky, potentially dangerous, dynamics? Or is it better to just go, no, I'm not going there. I'm not entering into that. I'm not going to get into any kind of weird like power struggle. I'm actually going to just hold my power. And in a way, that's staking your claim in the present moment. So that's one way that I worked with focusing this week, and how I think what I wanted to point out was how working with anger in a way that I know a lot of people will say like, yeah, embrace your anger, it's like your fierceness is a part of you, but we're still so young in integrating what that means. because even for me, I've been saying that for many years, but it was cool to actually have the experience of like, you know what, this person's not going to take me down. I'm not going down. I'm not going to like, stoop into that level and end up kind of like getting into details that you can slip into that defensive place if you feel that the person is kind of like gaslighting you, right? But there's another place you can go into, which is this strength of like, what's the worst that could happen here? Like, really, what's the worst that could happen? If you're not afraid, then you actually have this freedom to own your power, and there's an art in that. There's an art of power. There's an art of working with power. So that's what I think anger is. I think it's power, and as long as we're not, I'm not like I'm not stabbing like a person in the fantasy, which you can in your fantasy. You can go anywhere you want in your fantasy. Sometimes that can be really profound. But my way of seeing it is that I'm not like getting the person with that spear, but I'm actually getting those patterns that are like that they are trying to invite me into, with that like slippery kind of like, just under the water, just peeking out. That's a dangerous place. So it's something really, it's a real practice, and it's something really transformative to go, okay, that's there and I got this, like if I'm strong and present and strong in my presence, then there's nothing that could hurt me, there's nothing that's gonna, what's the worst that could happen? So I think that's a different way to look at things. And that's just one example of working with focusing, using that image, because it's actually the pain happens in the inner world when you take in somebody's, when you're being attacked by that shark and you're kind of like going into that place, it's like that's where it's painful, because you're in this like struggle and you're entering into this a shark pit potentially. And so there's something really different about being like, okay, that's where this person is at. I have to hold my ground. I have to rise above that. And it doesn't mean not being angry. It actually just means like centering that anger in a present way. And in that place with presence, anger is power. So that's a little note on anger. There's so much more I could say, but I just wanted to drop in about that. And let me know if you have any examples yourself of working with anger in this kind of way, or if you have any comments about this idea. Okay, take good care, and hopefully you are working with the inner world in a way that is really nourishing for you this week. Okay, sending lots of love.